Hello, and welcome to A Spoiling of Ice and Fire. I'm Roderick the Reader. Who is Jon Snow's mother? The holy grail of Game of Thrones mysteries. The question doesn't seem that important at first glance, but it is interesting that not even Jon himself seems to know the answer. Despite how trivial it is, it was the question George R. R. Martin used to test the Game of Thrones TV show creators before he gave them the okay to adapt. If you've only seen the TV show, then you've missed the biggest clue. In Book 1, Eddard, number 10, Ned Stark has a dream/memory referred to as the Tower of Joy. This memory is really one of the only glimpses we have of the time period Jon was born into. It's the end of Robert's rebellion, and all of the major battles have been fought, and Ned, with several close companions, are closing in on a tower where his sister is being held. He sees three men in front of the tower guarding it. The three men are Kingsguard, and Ned seems to question why they are there in the first place. He has to fight his way through the men to get to his sister, and only he and one other companion survive. The dream ends with his sister, Lyanna Stark, in her bed of blood, and Ned promising something mysterious to her. So let's break it down. The biggest clue here is the three Kingsguard defending the tower. The Kingsguard wouldn't carry out orders after a king dies. They would look for and defend the rightful heir. Besides, they could not have seriously believed that Lyanna's own brother is going to harm her. They both knew Aerys and Rhaegar were dead, and yet they stayed at the tower rather than find Viserys, who would have at this point been their rightful king. They must have been defending some new king, or they would not have been true to their vows, which is one of the last words the Lord Commander uses before he fights against Ned, which is, "We swore a vow." Lyanna has been supposedly raped by Rhaegar, which may just be the envious story of Robert Baratheon. Yet, willing or no, she probably did have sex with Rhaegar. And sex, as we all know, makes babies. If she were willing, or if she were to have gotten pregnant, then that child would at this point be king and heir to the Iron Throne. This baby king would be the real reason the three Kingsguard are at the tower, not Lyanna Stark. The fact that she is in her bed of blood means that Ned came just in time to see the child born, and that Lyanna is dying giving birth. The promise must be about the safety of the newborn child, because Ned must now find some way to keep this baby a secret. For if the child's identity were to ever be discovered, Robert would see it not only as a threat to his claim to the throne, but as the cause of the death of his beloved, his betrothed, Lyanna Stark, and another blow from his sworn enemy, Rhaegar Targaryen. In other words, Robert Baratheon would most likely want this child to die if he knew where it had come from. This does not rule out that the child might have died with Lyanna, but had the child survived, the only person it could be is Jon Snow. And to me, this fits better with Eddard's arc as, opposed to the honor-bound fool that he's depicted as. I personally tend to see him more so as a self-sacrificing child saver. But wait, doesn't Ned tell Robert that Wylla is the woman he dishonored himself with to have Jon Snow? Yet why would Ned so willingly tell Robert this secret, only to afterwards so shamelessly keep it from Jon? Those who believe it to be Ashara Dane don't realize that while she may have had something with Ned or his brother, the child that would have come from this died as a stillborn, and it was the reason that Ashara killed herself. So who is Jon Snow's mother? Lyanna Stark. And who is Jon Snow's real father? Rhaegar Targaryen. That's all, folks. More Secret Targaryens next episode. Below are some links so you can put it together yourself. Farewell, friends.